traveled over 6,000 miles for the championship here in DC. So let's put politics aside so we can have a good old-fashioned brawl. The Eastern and Western Conferences have now converged on the nation's capital to battle it out for the 2023 PR7s crown, and there's no room for error. So get ready to cast your ballot, because it's the next Battle of the Potomac. The 2023 Premier Rugby Sevens Championship is now underway in DC. Yes, it is the National Mall, not far from where we are, inside of Audi Field here in Washington, D.C. So much history on display in this great American city. And today you'll see history made in season number 3 of the PR7s. It started as one event back in 2021, 3 last year, and now 5 this year, and it culminates inside of Audi Field here. We are on the air here on YouTube for the next 2 hours for 4 matches, the semifinal matches in the men's and the women's side. The women will start it first. Great to have you with us wherever you're watching. Bree Kim was an All-American at Virginia playing days, now an assistant at Harvard. Nick Gismondi will join us pitch side throughout. My name is Ben Holden. A pleasure and an honor to be with you. Bree, this is all about high speed, high collisions, intense, electrifying action, and this year, the margin for error has been razor thin in PR7s.
Look, Rugby Sevens is pure exhilaration, and it can be devastating heartbreak. And as you said, it's evolved over the last 3 years, aspiring to be like the HSBC World 7 Series that you see every single year. And this means that there is no more room for error. Right from the get-go in the first stop, these teams had to make sure that they weren't making any mistakes, and they had to put everything forward, because one mistake and they weren't going to make it to the final.
So with all that said, what's critical and front and center for you for these sides here today playing for championships?
Yeah, I mean, now these teams have all played each other at least once, so they have a much better understanding of what they like to employ on the other side of the field. So it's been a lot more tweaking of game plans, and then for the players executing those tactics that their coaches have employed for them. So really, it's all about who can get the job done today, executing that strategy, and who can show out in those critical moments.
All right, let's take a look back at some of the critical moments that led to all these teams being here throughout the season. We'll take you back to the Western Final in San Jose. Loonies, Rhinos, ex-Loggerheads. This was in the semis. Shalala Valenzuela tied it up. Loonies would go on to win that one, Bree, 19-14, the final count.
Yeah, and in the other semifinals, the Retrievers versus the Experts. And look, Ariana Ramsey just picks off the scrum. She does this on the college scene, on the world scene here. She got a clean break from that for the try. The Experts won a tight one, 10-7. She's so lethal. Watch for her to do that again today.
All right, we'll keep our eyes on that. We go to Pittsburgh, the Eastern Conference Finals. This in the semis. Texas team and the headliners, Nia Tapper. No more decorated women's player in USA Rugby history than her. She helped her team that day to a 20-19 victory.
And in the other semifinal, the Steeltoes versus the Locals. Locals holding on to a 17-14 lead at this moment, but Blackburn to Nico Willison gets the break to seal the deal. The Locals would go on to win it 22-14.
All right, we'll jump over to the men's side now and show you some of the key and very important moments there in Austin. The Chris Arwitz show. He had the hat trick in this one as Austin got the win. They got it done, getting it done 22-19 as they won the first stop this year in the PR7s.
And then we fast forward to the Western Conference Finals. The Loonies versus the Experts in the first semifinal. They were down 14-10 when Darrell Williams picks up the trash on that restart, goes all the way for the game-winning try, winning 15-14.
Elsewhere, the Golden State Retrievers, a new franchise this season. Derek Adams, though, he's been a outstanding pro in this series for the Rhinos, ex-Loggerheads, scoring try after try, helped his team in San Jose win on that day, on that play, 17-15.
And then the culmination on that day, the headliners versus the Steeltoes. They were up 19-7 at the half, but Big Ben Pinkelman brought the Steeltoes back with plays just like this to Ethan Hager in support. That would be the game winner for the Steeltoes, 21-19, and now they've booked the trip here to DC today.
No Pinkelman today for the Steeltoes. He'll be replaced by Lance Williams. That'll be a storyline we'll keep our eyes on. Here's what we're looking at. Coming up just moments from now at 3:41 Eastern Time. The headliners and the locals. The headliners 2-0 against the locals so far this year in the series. In the Western semifinal on the women's side, you will have the Loonies and the Rocky Mountain Experts. They'll play the second match just after 4 o'clock Eastern Time. And Bree, on the men's side, you see two new franchises up top, and then an old rivalry now in 3 years, albeit, the Experts and the Rhinos x Loggerheads.
Yeah, the Steeltoes and the team really looking to take it to the house in this first semifinal. But as you said, Ben, the Experts and the Rhinos x Loggerheads, that's something that we have seen in the last 3 years. But the Rhinos x Loggerheads have not been able to pull it out, so that is going to be one to watch.
Memphis in 21, last year 22 in Austin. The Experts got it done. They've lost one time, and that loss came against the Loggerheads. So a lot to play for, so much excitement, fans continuing to file into the stadium here in D.C.
Yeah, and I think something that is so cool for this year especially is we had those big names from all across the international scenes, lots of Black Ferns. We had the most capped South African player on the men's scene.
Yeah.
And these players in North America are so excited to play for their home crowds, and these international players are so excited to play in the United States, and that's just growing the sport not only in North America, but also around the world.
Speaking of one of those Black Ferns, and we mentioned Nick Gismondi earlier, he had a chance to catch up with Stacey Waka earlier on the pitch.
Well, Stacey Waka of the Locals, you are an Olympic champion. You are a Rugby Sevens champion. You're a two-time Rugby World Cup champion, and now you're the captain of this team, getting set to face a difficult team in the headliners with the likes of Tapper and Gustitis. What do you guys have to do to kick this off the right way for yourselves?
I think the most important thing is just to play our game. Don't worry about things out of our control. We can only control what we do, play rugby, what we're here to do. So if we stick to our own game plan, I think we'll go well.
All right, it is your first time in Washington, D.C. First of all, what are your thoughts on it, and how important is it for you to be in the nation's capital, and what does it mean for rugby?
Yeah, I think it's awesome. You know, it's a cool new place for me. Got to tour around a little bit on Thursday, which was quite nice, and I've heard a lot of good things. It's a very clean city, so reminds me of New Zealand, and yeah, to have the last tournament here, I think it's definitely special for the game of rugby and for the country in general. Okay,
Stacey, so here's the deal. In week number 1, you showed our Windy Young your haka face, your pukana, right? So I've been practicing. I spent a little time in front of the mirror. So I want to give you mine and just give me your like 1 to intimidating factor. Okay? All right. This is the best I've got. Are you ready?
Yeah, nice.
What do we think? Is it?
Yeah.
I mean, you're not.
I'm going to give you 95%. The other 5%, the tongue has come right out.
Okay, so more, get that tongue really out there. Yeah.
It feels like pull their tongues out, but that's just an example.
Give me maybe we can do one together.
Yeah, okay.
All right, ready? Like 1, 2, 3.
Even better.
Is that it? Right there? Let's go.
Nailed it.
Listen, thank you so much for your time. Good luck out there. We look forward to talking to you more.
Thank you very much.
All right, Stacey Waka, captain of the Locals.
All right, Nick, thanks so much. Stacey as well. She's so entertaining, and she's clearly one of those top 3 or 4 women's players that have joined this year. And as you touched on, Bree, it's making such a difference as this sport continues seemingly every year to grow and grow in the United States.
Yeah, and Waka specifically, I mean, you could see right there, she's such a good personality off the field. You know, she's always posting on social media, so you see what she's doing all over the U.S. But look, she captains her squad today, and that comes from pure experience. And so the Locals are really going to look to her against the headliners. You know, like you said earlier, they haven't pulled out a win yet against them, but they're really looking to change that today.
Well, you see the Experts, they'll take on the Loonies in the next match. Headliners and locals here. Headliners 2-0 this season against the locals. They met in Pittsburgh in the last stop number 4, Bree, 12-7. But one thing from there, which could lead us to some different things we see on the pitch today, both sides knew they were locked in, so they probably didn't show a whole lot, right?
Absolutely not. I mean, they played each other in the Eastern Conference Final, and when I talked with both sets of coaches in Pittsburgh, they both said to me, look, Bree, we know that this match today, even though it's the Eastern Conference Final, that doesn't matter. We know that we're going to have to play them again in what really matters, the championship final. And so they kept their cards very close to the chest. You might see a little bit of a different lineup here on both sides. The tactics might change a little bit. So even though these teams have all played each other once, that's just 14 minutes. You have no idea what really happens in that first match against each other. So in this next one, anything else can happen.
Great point you make there, Bree. If you're watching and tuning in for the first time, these matches are 7-minute halves, so the game flies. And I'll equate it maybe a little bit, maybe an American audience, so to speak. If you're a hockey fan, you watch hockey, it goes to overtime. It goes from 5-on-5 to 3-on-3. The threat, the possibility, and usually big plays happen in a hurry in this sport. It's much different than the 15s or the union rugby that maybe you've seen or heard of elsewhere around the world.
Yeah, and certainly there's no less strategy in the sevens game, but it is, especially for a new rugby fan, just a lot more digestible to understand, and it's so much more entertaining because every second matters as we see these two teams run out, very similar colors, but really electric, and it's going to be a heck of a great first match.
Most will tell you the team on the left, the Southern headliners, the headliners will call them, they are the deepest team on paper, the best core, the best pedigree on the team, but that woman there, Stacey Waka, the Black Fern, two-time World Cup champ, and her side, they've got 3 New Zealanders on their side, so they've got a fair amount of pedigree as well, Bree Kim, being the great rugby country New Zealand is.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Waka and you look at Willison and Nuku, I mean, those are the international names that just get you scared. But then you look at the rest of the roster, Hamden, Bonte, Weathers, Manitoga, those are all Eagles names that are very familiar in the U.S. scene. I mean, it is electric and just going to be such a physical game. And you get a look right here at Mona Tupou, who is not in the starting roster, but just came back from the other under-23 border battle, also playing the Pacific 4 Series. She's going to be physical.
Now on the headliner side, mention the pedigree, mention the depth, the consistency. Who stands out? Who do we need to watch on their side?
I mean, Magley Harvey is a name that everyone has known for many years. Her step is so lethal. Monique Coffey is an up and rising Canadian who is going to be entertaining as well. But look, a little bit more of an American-Canadian flair on this side, though you do have Kukutai coming from the Southern Hemisphere as well. But it should also be noted, Abby Gustitis, who was up here in the booth in the previous stops, she gets to play again in her hometown. She's a local product, so you know that the crowd is going to be out here for her.
So the first of 8 matches here today, the semifinals here in our first 2-hour window. We'll be shifting over to FS1 here in the United States and in North America at 6:30 Eastern time. So we get it underway here. There's the drop kick to get us underway, and it's out of the reach on the near side there as Weathers couldn't get to it. The ball's got to travel 10 meters there, and it didn't.
Yeah, it looked like the kick maybe went 8 meters or so, and you could see as soon as the kick went off, she put her hands to her face and said, "My bad, guys, it's not how we wanted to start."
Yep, getting off on the wrong foot, literally. So we'll scrum down from here.
And it's so interesting because these center scrums are very dangerous. They're very hard to defend because you have so little people, you have so little defenders outside of the scrum. So you have to be very conservative with how you're going to go because you don't know where the attack is going to go.
At voice you hear our referee wearing the wireless microphone throughout all of the matches today.
Catch. Line. Set.
Monique Coffey plays it in, gets it. She's immediately dragged down. Good tackle made there by the locals. To the halfway line. Laura Herf with a carry. Penalty called against the locals. Here's Abby Gustitis. Now Monique Coffey out of Dauphin, Manitoba. Joined the series last season and made a huge impact for this headliner side. Pass low and at the feet there, potential turnover, but it's held on to by the headliners for now.
And you could already see the pressure from Waka flying up. Tapper really had no time to react as that fine defense results in a turnover in this phase.
Now the locals have it into the hands of Stacey Waka. Waka, good outside ball inside of the 22-meter. They double team the ball carrier there. Ruck ensues to the back, and it's played out of there by Nini Weathers. Big hit there. Olsen with a hit for the headliners. Trying to offload there. Ball down on the turf. Locals able to get back to it over there. Shahir Hampton had a touchdown. Now they try to break outside. No doing there. Looking for an open teammate was Nuku. About 10 meters out from the try line. Play to the back now. Now Waka 1v1, cuts through, trying to get in there. Waka to the line, and she's got it down. Stacey Waka setting the tone, and that's 5 as the locals take the early lead.
And of course, it would be her to dot down, but it really came from the composure from the entire team. We saw so many phases on the right-hand side there, and just the continuity that they were able to start with from the get-go. And then by the time they got that ball out, even though the headliners were already set and organized in defense, just Waka's physicality and getting that one-on-one, that's an advantage that they're going to continue to look to exploit.
So the locals getting the early lead here. There's the 2-time World Cup champ in 15s, Rugby World Cup champ in 18, Olympic champion in 2020. Last event, she had 6 tackles in Pittsburgh, and that young lady too, Bree, I remember her well from last year, Grace Kukatai out of New Zealand as well. She made a big impact. Let's check in down on the pitch with Nick for some updates on what the coaches told him. Nick.
Yeah, thanks, Holds. Chatted with everybody before this one kicked off, and since it was the locals who struck first, let's start there with Coach Fahey. She says, listen, these guys on the other side, they've got those strong runners fast. So their objective, keep it clean, slow down their ball, be patient, as you saw on that first try. On the other side for Coach Locke, he says, listen, we've seen these guys before, but we cannot take anything for granted. We've got to stay calm. It's a new tournament. Nothing is going to be given. If we want to win this, everything is going to have to be earned.
All right, Nick, thanks. Nick will be down there throughout the day here with us. All kinds of great information and much more coming pitch side. Now the headliners making some shifty moves. Good ball inside. Chance here to the 22, cutting inside. Good offload there. And the headliners take it in. And it's put down by the Caledonia, Michigan product, Elena Olsen. And the match is tied at 5.
And look, that just comes off of the first mistake from the locals, not getting the kickoff right. That is deadly for a team like this, for any team in the Sevens tournament. And Magali Harvey, we talked about what kind of steps she has, and Kukatai able to shrug off a couple of defenders and continue opening up other gaps for Olsen. She is always in support with those runs. So really like how calm, cool, and collected the headliners were in that passage of play.
So the headliners convert the kick.
Okay, time off. Time
Drop
off.
goal kick
Let's try to
is
get
what
close.
you have to do with the conversions.
Balls, please. Mike, send that ball, boy, when the conversions are being made. Time should be off.
A bit of a
1:49 on my clock.
Bit of a homecoming for referee Haley Aguiar, who spent some time here as well before moving to San Diego. But know that she is excited to reunite with the local ref teams here as this kickoff gets underway.
Short one, handled by the locals calmly. They've got it. To the back now. Willison. Good break from her. Picks up several meters of real estate. Penalty call here.
No, here.
And it's going on the locals.
And Harvey not tapping quite on the mark.
Okay, time off. 11 and 7, pink. 11 and 7, pink.
So we're getting some subs here, and 2 subs coming in.
Needs to be off. Good.
Porter will check in. Melissa Porter, number 8 for the headliners. Jen Solomon, New York State product. She'll come in. There she is. You read anything into that?
No,
strategy-wise or not?
It's all tactical. Look, it is humid conditions as always in DC. And so when you have, especially when you have someone like Nia Tapper, you want to make sure that she is on the field for those last few moments, especially in the second half, right? Making sure she can have an opportunity at scoring a try, and so you pull them off in the middle of the game, give them a little bit of rest, and then put them back in. So completely tactical, expected of the headliners.
Line out here for the headliners. Abby Gustitis way up to get it. Good ball there. They got some space up that far touchline. Good ball back inside of the 22. They're about 15 meters away. But the ball is going to change possession here, going over to the locals.
Oh, and just unfortunate, because I loved that execution on that line out, because if we can see a replay of that perhaps, what happened was the headliners faked going out wide to the 3 backs that were set up, but instead, Gasitis just kept it in her hands and then dished it off back to the weak side. That's some great stuff.
So the scrum controlled here by the locals, deep in their own territory. Bad ball played back there. Headliners trying to win the battle. Porter gets in there. She can't come up with it. But it's knocked on. The ball's going to go over to the headliners.
Look, it's just pressure, pressure, pressure right now. When you are in your own 22, especially your own 5, you have to give yourself a little bit more depth and time, and just the hands not going quite to, or the ball not quite going to Weather's hands, and Porter just right there to make sure she killed that ball as they get a really good attacking opportunity.
They sure do. The time has expired, but we'll play on here.
Free kick here, so Coffee will get that quick tap as she looks to get it out wide.
It's a free, and it's taken in, and the headliners get that late try, and they cash in off that turnover deep inside of locals territory, and they take it in for a 5-pointer. It's a 12-5 match.
And the headliners just looking a little bit more composed right now, and that's the difference of this first half. Creating defensive pressure, taking advantage of that, and the scrum error there. So Coffee gets the ball on the quick tap from the free kick of the scrum, and then just too easy for Kukatai. When you're so close to the try line, that's an automatic 5 for you.
So a 14-5 count here as we've hit the halftime break. They're quick, 7 minutes over in a hurry, and locals jumped on the board. Getting that first try from Waka, but 2 tries, 2 converted tries from the headliners here. They're up by 9 at halftime.
Yeah, 2 possessions, but look, 2 possessions is nothing, especially when you have 7 minutes. I mean, you could have just less than a minute left on the clock and 2 possessions would still be nothing. I mean, I know when you're looking at home and watching the clock, you start to get stressed out. Your heart starts to race a little bit more because you're not used to having so little time. But that's what's so important, is who can stay the most composed. And you know that Andrew Locke right now, talking to his team, is just reminding them of that and reminding them of the strategy and game plan that he designed specifically for this first match.
Speaking of Andrew Locke, moved to Virginia, so this is a homecoming for him of sorts, as you told me yesterday. Lauren Barber was with him last year. They won 2 events this season. Top women's side in the championship. 13 points was awarded when you won one of the previous 4 stops, but today it's all about playing for the hardware and claiming the championships here on the men's and women's side here in PR7s. Ben Holden, Bree Kim, Nick Gismondi down on the pitch. Dean Walker's our producer, and all of our crew here in Washington, D.C. Again, everything about this sport at a high pace. The halftime is about a minute and a half, and they're back on the pitch, Bree. Great sport, growing. These women out here playing some of the very best you'll see in the world in this competition here this weekend in D.C.
Yeah, and as we kick off the second half, ball goes to the locals. They must make sure that they get this kickoff receipt right. And honestly, they need to make sure that they can get the most out of this possession, see if they can put points on the board, because headliners came out of that half with all the momentum.
They sure did. So we're underway here, 14-5 here to begin this 7-minute second half. Locals work it to the back, handled by Nuku back there. Nuku puts it off into a teammate's hand. There's Monique Coffey. She's a speedster, but a good all-around player. Could play either for the U.S. or Canada. She's selected for one of those national teams. Got eligibility in both countries. Now the headliners come back. They track it down. Trying to make a step and get around Waka. Does the ball carrier there, but down to the turf she goes. Olsen in to get it. Gasitis, a little dummy there. Now she'll play it back, and a suicide pass there, and a big hit delivered there from the locals. Finished off there by Mattia Toga. Now here's Coffey and that speed. She's slowed up though a bit, but a big pickup there for her, Bree. She is dangerous.
Oh man, and that's huge for the headliners. That big hospital pass really set them back, but just able to keep the possession there, and Coffey just relieving more pressure as she continues to take another ball into contact.
Ruck ensues. They get it laid back. Now they play it back. Harvey Another collision there, part of this great sport. Now it's Olsen, Elena Olsen. Trying to go back, good hands there from Porter to hang on to it, avoiding the knock-on. Now Olsen, trying to cut inside. Initiates the contact there right at the 22-meter line. Now Abby Gustaitis. Not sure how much longer her career will continue. She's had a good one, but playing again this year. And a couple of more substitutions here, Bree. Jetta Owens, number 2 for the locals, and Shamira Robles checking in. Robles wears 11. Also coming in.
But that was a big turnover by the locals. Their defense knew the switch was coming and was able to defend that and just get a big hit to pop that ball out. That's crucial in a time like this in this half.
All right, let's check in with Nick Ismani down on the pitch. Halftime adjustments, Nick, what do you got?
Yeah, thanks, Holds. And it wasn't necessarily that. I talked to Nia Tapper and asked her, what did you like about that first half? And she said, you know what, I thought we played really good, but it was our response after they struck first that really encouraged our group. They're very vocal, they're very upbeat. It's tight out there, obviously, but Tapper likes the way her squad's playing.
Good stuff. Toasty down there, isn't it?
She's a little warm. It's definitely humid here. I'm not even moving, and I'm pretty drippy.
We'll see you at the break, my friend, up in the booth. Here's the restart now, the headliners. Headliners up 14-5 here, trying to add to it and punch their ticket into the championship here in DC. Locals down by 2 tries here, down by 9. Locals come up with a key play there, forcing the turnover there, Bree.
Yeah, that's Jetta Owens, another local product out of Columbia, Maryland, went to Virginia Tech, now plays her ball in New York. But a crucial poach, again, we said they still have plenty of time, but it's been all headliners' possession up until that turnover as Waka comes streaking down the sideline.
Here she comes, Coffey though with that speed, dragged her down, grabbed a hold of her top of her kit there and pulled her down. Now the locals, it's gonna be a penalty call, and it's gonna be a yellow coming in there too early. And it's on Dejan Brown. What do you think, Bree?
Oh, that is a tough call for Brown, and you hope that is not the momentum changer. But the call that Aguiar made was that Dejan Brown was playing the ball, not the player, and so ensuing intentional knock on there. So that's 2 minutes.
Yep.
Now she's in the chair, and now they're on defense. This is something that the locals must capitalize on.
So checking in for the headliners. Well, 2 subs, Nia Tapper, number 7. Emma Farnan, number 13. Tapper leads all women in the series. There's Farnan, who was great here last year in DC, but Tapper, 5 tries, the most decorated women's USA player of all time.
Did not like playing against her in college, Ben. I will just say that outright. There's nothing else to say about that, but it's so good to see her just continuing to break barriers and make history on the United States scene, and on the international scene. But you have to wonder here, they've got to be conservative as the locals take advantage of this play.
Here's Stacey Waka, tons of room. She's got support on the run. Waka about 10 meters out, drop down to the turf. Trying to pick it up and sneak away there, but it's going to be a penalty call. Looked like offsides there on the headliners. Quick tap restart. Here come the locals. They need a try. They're down 2 tries. There's one of them. They take it in, and it's 14-10 now with 3:15 and counting to go with a conversion attempt coming up.
Oh, and it looked like the headliners were going to turn over that ball, but Tapper just getting caught offsides in that ruck. And then knowing that they had the advantage in numbers, they could have spun it out wide, but Owens spotted that gap, took it herself, backed herself, and now we're just 2 points away. And you can see here, this is again from that initial breakdown. Hamden gets it out, and Owens just spotting the gap, Solomon just giving a little bit too much space. And Owens, look, if you could dot it down close to the as close to the post as possible, that just makes it so much easier for your team. As you can see, now it's tied up because you get those 2 points. Every kick is so important today.
Here's the kick. touchline on the far side. 2-point match here with 2:10 and counting to go.
Excuse me, it is not tied. It's 14-12 headliners, but again, that is just so important in these last couple of minutes here.
2 minutes in this sport, Bree, is an eternity, is it not?
Depends on which side you're
true.
on, Ben. But yes, it is. There's still plenty of time, and it's all about conserving that momentum. And so now the locals have the line out, and then they return to full strength for the headliners.
Brown's back out of the sin bin after the yellow.
Time's accurate. We're gonna hold.
So the headliners, maybe not, too pleased with hoping they could have come out with just, conceding no points in that possession, but that's okay. There's still plenty of time, but the locals looking to ride what they have here, and they're attacking out.
Headliners 2-0 against the locals this season. They've won 4 straight coming in, have the headliners. Can the locals get it done here in the late stages? Tapper's right there, stays with the ball carrier. Offload though, locals trying to sneak up the touchline toward the corner. And time is off.
The player going to touch. Are you happy with grounding? Thank you.
It's a try. The try is awarded with 1:16 left here in this match, Bree.
Man, and the locals just executing here. A little bit of a messy lineup, but able to contain. And really, it's the dummy runner from the wing. You can see Weathers going in, just really freezing their fence there. And Willison just doing such a good job to distract Tapper as Weathers comes back around. And just that little bit of stiff arming buys Weathers the extra space, the extra time to get that try.
So the locals on top here.
Aaron, to confirm, that conversion was no good, right?
17-14's your count here. 40 seconds remaining here. Always playing for somebody.
Was conversion good? No, thank you.
Locals have had 3 different try scores here. They opened the scoring first. Headliners popped in a couple.
Time is accurate.
Stacey Waka
Time is accurate.
involved in that first sequence. She scored the first try. So time right now, 34 seconds remaining here in the match, Bree.
This restart is so important. Can't make any errors here, and she makes no mistake as the locals look to apply this pressure.
So here's Coffey trying to use that speed. Good play, offloading there. Here come the headliners now. 25 seconds. Ball batted. They try to get to it. It's still loose. Headliners can't get it. Waka couldn't get it. And it's called a knock-on.
And look, there's only 12 seconds, maybe not even that much time now. Referee does call time off. So the time might not be accurate as you see it continue to wind down, but locals has possession. They are so fine with buying all that time. You hear the referee say 15 seconds left on her clock. They're just gonna look to conserve, look to crash, keep possession until those 15 seconds wind down and get that ball out.
Locals get it. Drag down. Be careful with it here. Waka's got it. Just getting some open space. They play it to the back now. Trying to burn this time up. They're on top by 3 here. Headliners trying to come up with a turnover. Get another chance. Waka takes a look. There's the kick into touch. Stacey Waka puts it out, and that's the match. And the New York locals win it 17-14. They were 0-2 against the headliners. The headliners see their 4 straight victory streak come to an end, and the locals are on to the championship here in 2023.
And the first heartbreak we see of the day for the headliners who had such a valiant effort in that match, but just not enough. We know that every single match today is going to be so close. Just 3 points was the difference in this first match. But the locals triumphant, just not letting those earlier tries eat away at them and be resilient and carry through. And now they have booked the first spot to the championship final.
They were down 14-5. They scored 12 second half points to win it. 17-14 your final count. So a big win, and Really, we talked about her. You see her getting a hug there from her teammate, Stacey Waka. It started with the interview with her. She came out, set the tone for her side. Even though they were down, they slipped down by 9, but she got them on the board first. And in the end, was the one that sealed the deal, kicking it into touch.
Yeah, look, Sevens is all about riding those waves, whether it's the highs or the lows. And the locals just able to do the best there as we see Weather celebrating her game-winning try.
All right, back down to Nick, who's got a very familiar guest once again. Nick.
We're just going to keep the interview train rolling between Stacey and I. A huge win for you all. You start off with that try, and it really sets you guys on the path. How important was that fast start for you and slowing down that speed on the other side?
Yeah, I think Sevens is a game of 40 minutes, and you know, it's the person who gets the momentum rolling that usually wins. So we were lucky to do that. We made a few errors in the second half, which allowed them to catch up and bypass us, but I'm just grateful that our girls stuck in. I talked about hard work and work rate being important and the key to success in this game, and I think they did that today.
Congratulations, catch your breath. We'll see you later on.
Thank you very much.
All right, Stacey Walker holds back up to you guys.
All right, Nick, thanks so much. And she's setting the tone in every sense, Bree Kim, and some young rugby fans in attendance here at Audi Field. And the next match will be starting pretty soon here. We'll get her going here as we have 3 more matches remaining here in this 3:30 window. It'll be the Northern Loonies and the Rocky Mountain Experts. Loonies in the white kits, the Experts in their powder blue and white.
The Northern Loonies, a familiar name throughout the last 3 years, having enjoyed a lot of success. Head coach Robin McDowell, so well known, especially over in Canada. But the Rocky Mountain Experts, they came out last in that first stop. And here they turned it back around in the second stop in San Jose. Were able to win it outright. And now they get to celebrate that here in the first match as we see this starting roster. Again, just very strong, but I love all the American names that you see here. The Experts have really been able to retain a lot of star players throughout the last couple years. Irene Gardner and Roz Chow, 2 very, very familiar women who are just so knowledgeable in the U.S. scene and just have really, I don't think there's a bigger brain trust than the 2 of them combined.
Get a look at that Looney side. Who grabs your eyes there, Bree?
Everyone knows the Alev Kelter here and Caroline Crossley, the 2 captains, but Shosh Seyumanatafa from Canada has returned. She's from Canada 15s, a very strong player, and the Loonies will be very happy to have her back for today.
So the second women's semifinal underway here. Experts trying to get a handle on it inside of their own 5-meter, and they do. Catherine Johnson back there, able to pick the ball up. Experts broke out in San Jose, had a good weekend. They upset the Golden State Retrievers. That was their breakthrough win so far this season here in PR7 season number 3. Trying to save that ball, unable to. It's knocked on. It'll go over to the Loonies.
Yeah, Tagoki there just wanted to keep the ball alive as she went down to ground, but unable to keep it in her hands. Spencer Bolt trying to do everything that they've been able to do so well so far in the first few stops, and a little bit disappointed, but that's just the first minute of this match as the Loonies will get a nice opportunity in their attacking 22.
They sure will. Kayla Moleshi will put it in, and she'll get it in the back. Flings it to the back into the hands of Kelter, native of Alaska. Outside ball into the hands of Silva, the Brazilian native. Drags a tackler about 2 meters inside of the 22. They go. To the back now into the hands of Carolyn Crossley out of Victoria, BC. Outside ball now to the 5-meter. The push is on toward the line. Nothing yet. Good defensive work there from the Experts. They slowed up Marie-Pierre Bono, but they can't slow up this as the try is put down here. 1:40 into the match, and the Loonies are on the board.
Yeah, Moleshi just has plenty of experience to her name and just spots the gap, knows that there's a player down for the Experts. It looks like it was Berta there. Hope she is okay, but Moleshi, 2-time Olympian, Won silver in the Sevens World Cup in 2013. Just too easy for her. Sees that there's no one home on the right-hand side and dots it down.
Tough kick indeed, and that's not easy to do. No tee here in sevens. It's not like 15s where you get the tee. You got to drop kick that thing, and that's a tough kick and a big 2 points.
Alev Kelter just gets things started off the right way for her squad. Again, this team just has a number of Olympians across the board. Elects to go really deep here.
Yeah.
Putting the pressure, that's a beautiful kick, putting the pressure on the experts.
Sure was. Excellent kick.
There's really kind of two types of kick that two types of kicks you're really looking for. You're looking for a high and 10, buy some time for the rest of your team to rush up and try to win that ball back, or you're going really deep in the corners, pinning the other team back in their own 5 and putting them under pressure, and that's just a textbook example of the latter.
From the lineup, the experts have it. Their own end goal, trying to get a little bit of breathing room, but the Loonies do a fine job there on the tackle. Penalty called, though, on the Loonies. Here's the restart, quick tap, here we go. Experts looking to counter here. Nearing the midway point here of this half. 3.5 is the midway point. Some space there, but a good job to close that channel down by the Loonies. Ball to the back now, a little bit of space out there. Nikoloa, heavy collision, good ball to the outside. 1v1 in space, there go the Jets. They are turned on, and the experts are going to counter. They take it in, long distance try there. They're on the board and 2 away from tying the match at 7.
And a great response there from the experts. You take a look here, Nicolau just pinning that last defender. You see Berta grinning, knows that she's got the one-on-one in the bag. Just has that speed to burn both of those players. Kelter and Berta so physical, but Berta just has the edge there on the sideline. Really playing to the strengths here are the experts.
Amanda Berta and the walk-off winning try in the final against Golden State earlier in the previous 4 stops. 75-meter run for her. She's a Penn State grad.
Time to run.
Soccer player as well as rugby in her college days in Happy Valley. So 7-7 here. A little more than 2 remaining. Contested ball, batted back. Experts trying to get it. They do. They're on it. Just outside the 22 now. Spencer Bolt now plays it back. She's got it into the hands there of Nicolau. Spencer Bolt, Regina, Saskatchewan, her hometown. Near side now, stepping on the gas, trying to get free. Good tackle coming back by Kelter, though, for the Loonies. The Loonies come up with it. Oh, started with that play by Kelter. They've got possession now. Bounce to the back, right in the middle of the park. Now some room here. Support to the outside. Loonies are going to use it. That support runner, a little dummy there. Probably should have given the ball off there. They don't. And now the experts have it on the turnover. Here they come. Pedal to the metal.
And you can just see the experts, they really want to play live ball. They don't want to play a lot of rucks, looking for these offloads.
Unable to break that channel was Kenyon. Not releasing there.
Oh,
of the
man.
ball, and it's a turnover to the Loonies.
Yeah, back and forth there, and the Loonies just able to get in. That's Sayumana Tafa. We said that she was going to be one to watch right before this match kicked off. Has done a lot on attack already, but just able to get in for that jackal. Good low body position, win that ball back. And, you know, the Loonies had a really good build-up before the experts had that phase of possession. So I think they're going to ride kind of the momentum that they've started building for themselves as we see some tactical subs coming on, and that's Sativa Pirikuru. Alev Kelter coming off, presumably to catch a few minutes of rest.
And Evan Hazy checking in, 14 for the experts. The Atlanta, Georgia product, and I know you're like her, Harvard University grad. I know you have a big smile on your face, as you should. There's Kelter getting a little help. Tune her up. So here we go, a little scrum here.
Hold your weight, don't push in. Turn up.
And just keep an eye on what the expert scrum can do here. We saw earlier in the highlights, Ari Ramsey She's going to try. She's defending here, but hopefully trying to win some ball back because, you know, if she can run off the scrum, it's so lethal and just applying great pressure. Immediately gets back up.
There's Ramsey right there.
Yeah, not quite going her way there, but again, just the right amount of pressure as they spot no defenders back.
Kick chase here is going to win the race. Ramsey, she's diminutive, but she's put together and got a great set of wheels on her.
Use it.
Out of the back, base of that rock. Good ball there. Ramsey, a little tiptoeing around there, played it back. The horn to end the half, but we'll continue to play on here.
Stay up.
It's a penalty call there by a referee. It's going to go over to the experts here. Quick tap and go. One last opportunity here for them here in this first half. Ball comes out.
Scrum advantage.
You hear the referee there. Advantage. Advantage is now over for the Loonies. Good tackle there at the 22.
Back up.
Out the back. No real support there. Trying to lay it back. They do. Spun into the middle. Hopped along. Bad ball there. Loonies get to it, and there's Ramsey making plays all over the pitch.
Okay.
Tackle for her. Extended time here. Loonies, they're going to say, all right, we'll just head to the room, head to the sheds, as they would say, 7-7 after the half.
Yeah, and you know that both teams wanted to try to get an extra 5 points before going into halftime, but really just those possessions were really staying in between the 40-meter lines on the pitch, not really getting any advantage either way there, but some really good moments of brilliance between these two sides. A lot of physicality and really trying to keep the ball alive through those offloads, either the backhanded offload or off the ground. But we're not seeing a ton of playmaking like we did in the first game. We need those playmakers to step up and really try to manipulate that space in the defensive line.
7-7 match here. Experts, 4 turnovers they had in the first half. But this match tied at 7 apiece. It's Looney's side, a solid outfit top to bottom. Loonies were the 2021 champion in Memphis. Trying to get it done again, and for all things DC, tourism, travel related, check in with Events DC, Supreme Court. Not too far away from us. It's hard to come to this city and not, no matter you've lived here, you've been here a bunch, and not go around and see sites like that, the National Mall, all those great monuments out there. And it's been a lot of fun. The players have been here. They've really enjoyed the time. We're at the same hotel. Everyone's there, and out on the west end of DC, if you're familiar, and everybody's been having a great time here, and all culminates here, the 5th stop this year on the PR7s here in DC.
Shout out to the Nova girls there in support. And what's really fun about Sevens rugby in general is anytime you go to a Sevens event live, it's all about the costumes and just the themed outfits that you can come up with the group that you're going with. And you can see them there. They've realized that they're on camera. Again, it's just a fun event, fun entertainment.
White captain.
In addition to this amazing sport that we're witnessing on the pitch.
So we'll flip sides here. The experts will kick it away. In a 7-7 match, the winner moves on to take on the New York Locals in the championship final later tonight. You'll be able to see that match on FS1. Experts with it against the Northern Loonies. Rocky Mountain experts, in fact. Ball put into the hands there of Amanda Berta, trying to play it outside, turned over. Loonies have it. Tackle into touch.
Tackle 3 blue.
But it's a high tackle, you heard, and that's on Catherine Johnson, the high tackle.
Scrum called. Scrum.
Unfortunate there. The experts had a perfect high and 10 kick that they were able to win back and maintain possession, but just not able to keep the errors from flowing here.
Down to Nick. He had a chance to catch up with both coaches. Nick?
Yeah, thanks, Holt. Actually spoke to Robin McDowell, and they're just hungry for this rematch. They're not overconfident, and nor are they after that first half, but they really want to go with over-the-top dominance, so that's what they're looking for there. On the expert side, I actually talked to Evan Hose, and she said they just have to trust all of the skills that they know they have. Focus on the elementals, not the uncontrollables. Control what they can control, believe in themselves, and they'll be fine.
Yeah, the old adage. Thanks, Nick. And so I ran into Robin McDowell. You may know this. He's got a tattoo of a Looney on his, I believe it's on his right ankle. He told me, he said, we win the whole thing. The lady said, we're all getting a tat same way. So a lot of pressure there. Here's a chance. Pressure from the experts, and Ramsey takes it in and dots it down. Conversion coming. Experts up 12-7.
The Olympian there, Ari Ramsey, fresh out of Dartmouth College, just able to spot that moment where the Loonies were not set in defense, spot that quick gap, no one at home at the ruck, and just darts right through. We see the replay. Keevan goes into contact, and Ramsey just picks it up immediately. The Loonies don't even have any time to respond. And just picking and choosing those moments where you can go at that speed. That's great stuff. That's what you expect from an Olympian, Ben. And going back, I mean, you got such a diverse roster of players. Nick just talked about Evan Hazy. Evan Hazy is someone who has so much sevens experience, has played under and with Irene Gardner for so long, and really leads by example, has all the trust of her teammates, and that cannot be emphasized enough on a day like today.
No question about it. Another one possession match here, 14-7.
He's good.
San Jose, 7 of 8 matches were one possession matches. In Minnesota, in that stop in Egan, 7 of 8, one possession. In Pittsburgh, the last stop, 4 one possession matches. So it's been so close. And as you said, Bree, when we set the tone at 3:30, it's a razor thin margin for error. So you get a couple subs. Kelter's back in white there for the Loonies, and Spencer Bolt back in for the experts.
Yep, and it's very kind of different tactical subs there, but knowing that for the Loonies, they need someone as experienced and physical, someone who can break the game like Kelter. And then on the experts, having someone like Bolt who can maintain, put that pressure on at the ruck and at the scrums is so important.
Kelter from a family of rugby players. She was a pretty good hockey player back in her own day. Her dad was a pretty good player. Good tackle there by Ramsey. Had to be careful that she didn't get called for a high. She did get called for a high tackle. A little bit too high there. She tried, but she was up around that head and neck, and it's called every single time. They call for the scrum as a result of the penalty.
Yeah, just unfortunate, just body position just starts off too high. As we take a look here, Ramsey knows that she's got the speed maintained, but just when you're running sideways, sometimes that body position is too difficult to get to, and she just starts off high, gets her down eventually, and thinks that with the ref call not happening in that moment that maybe she's won it back, but gets dinged there.
Scrum here for the Loonies. Delaney Aikens to roll in. Quick, right out of the back. Aikens has got some room. Aikens making a run. Can she outrun the defender? Stiff arm out. Does she get there? No, the ball came free. And the experts are there.
First, scrum to blue.
There you go. Knocked down by the Loonies. Scrum to the experts.
Oh man, I love that from Aikens, and I thought she had that.
Yeah.
Sneaks right around the scrum. Bolt can't take her, and Aikens goes all the way, but look at this effort here from the experts, and Keevan, just the game-breaking tackle there, the try-saving tackle, and wins that back for the experts. Those are the kind of moments that can be so pivotal in this match.
Okay. Time's back on.
There's the verdict. So a key moment in this match, Bree. 2:50 remaining here in the match. Team with this scrum on top by 7. To the back, they get it out, trying to exit. They're going to be in trouble here, though. Offload, good play. They get it free. Ramsey trying to track it. She can't. It's knocked on.
That's a huge error there. And you know, it really looked like at the beginning that Keevan wasn't even ready, was still communicating to the rest of her back line. But the ball, I mean, they started out pretty wide, the backs. And so as that ball traveled, they were being put under more and more pressure from the Loonies. And then when you're in the try zone, you're just kind of freaking out mentally and then not able to get any go forward or keep those hands. That's huge. That's huge for the Loonies as they're able to now get this scrum and this possession.
5 meters away from the try line. Down by a converted try.
Fine.
Catherine Johnson back in, number 3 for the Experts, one of their captains.
Stay now.
Here they go. Kelter straight ahead, right in. Alev Kelter takes it home, and the Loonies were a conversion away from a time match here with under 2 to go.
And something that I really love that was so technical from the Loonies there, most of the time you see the scrum half put in from the left-hand side of your scrum, but instead they moved her to the other side. And what that did, because that scrum was center, you see she's on the other side now is Aikens.
Yep.
That gives her a much clearer path for Kelter to get that pass. And so it just made it a lot easier. As you can see now, Kelter just has that wide open lane to take it up Main Street.
Yep.
I mean, she's such a physical player, it's already easy enough for her, but because Aikens was on the other side of the scrum, Aikens didn't have to turn awkwardly all the way back to get that pass to Kelter. Just made it a lot easier for that play to happen.
All right, talked about all the close matches we've had here in the 4 previous stops here in PR7s. We got another one here, tied up with a minute to go. Second lead change here in this one so far. Kennedy Feasby checking in for the Loonies, wearing 14. There you see her going in. Product of Canada.
The Feasby family, I'm sure, is out here in support. They've been at the last 2 stops. Her sister, unfortunately, not able to make it with the Steeltoes, but her parents very happy to have both of them playing in this event.
Line out goes deep. Loonies get to it right on cue. There's Feasby to get down on the ball, protecting it. Here's Kelter trying to take matters into her own hands. Outside ball, the good one. They got a shot here. Good tackle over there made by Ramsey.
And it looks like that's going to be a high tackle and a penalty try.
It is. You're right, Bree. There's the card. So the call on
Ramsey there.
Ramsey, yeah. Huge.
And the reason for that, we saw Ramsey already get dinged here for a high tackle earlier, so the referee not going to waste any time. That's a big call. That is a big moment in this match, because that was all the way down the sideline, and now you get the free extra 2 points. Ramsey just not getting low in that body position.
Yep.
And that costs her team those 2 points, and now just making it even harder for the Experts, but not impossible as they look to try to get something in no time here.
This will be it. Another high tackle, that one called on the Loonies. Here come the Experts, 21-14, Loonies on top. Experts trying to get this thing level. Can't do it there, and it's knocked on, and that is the match. And the Northern Loonies, they're advancing on. They'll take on the New York Locals in the women's final later tonight. The Loonies win it 21-14.
The Northern Loonies really showing just some smart tactical decision making throughout the match, coupled with some hard physical running, and then, you know, taking advantage of the errors that the Expert had, that they made. That's a tough break for them, but the Loonies just continuing success year to year. It will be a big final, the Locals versus the Loonies.
Yeah.
Can't wait for that one later today.
And there's Kelter, made several key plays, had a try, had a big tackle early in the match, setting the tone for her side and aiding them and guiding them on to the victory here in the second women's semifinal. So the final set, Loonies and New York Locals. Experts will take on the headliners in the 3rd place, the consolation game on the women's side. So you've seen two of these matches so far. What are your thoughts so far on the 2 we've seen, Bree?
Look, I think it's actually been pretty much what we expected, right?
Okay.
Both of those matches, the difference is a try or less, right? Just one possession. And I think especially in the earlier stops. There's a lot of just kind of feeling each other out and also just building that team chemistry. That can't be emphasized enough. And these teams just doing so well to employ those tactics that they've worked on throughout the summer, right?
Yeah.
They've got to keep building, and the rugby that they play today has to be the best rugby that they've played all summer, because you know each and every team is getting better and better.
Well, the Loonies get the job done. 21-14 the final. Locals 17-14 win. Feeding the headliners in the first women's semifinal. Going to switch over to the men's side in our next match. We'll see two new franchises joining PR7s this season. The Steeltoes out of Pittsburgh, what a perfect name for them. And the Texas team will be their opponent here in this first men's semifinal. Second semifinal. Trying to keep cool. Clouds have kind of drifted in here. Sun is absent for the time being, but these two sides coming out. Experts and Loggerheads will tee it up next for us here.
Look, the Rhinos, Loggerheads, and the Experts, they have history here.
No, they do ever.
The Experts, they won in Memphis. They went 2 of 3 last year. And the Rhinos, Loggerheads, they lost both years in the final to the Experts.
Right.
And the one stop last year that the Experts lost was to the Rhinos, Loggerheads.
Right.
As you get a good look here at the two captains, Matty Tago, Madison Hughes. And now you have both teams running out. It's going to be a good 14 minutes ahead of us, Ben.
Patrick Madden leading out the SoCal Rhinos Loggerheads in the green kits. He's their captain, Matty Tago, and Madison Hughes. We call him Captain America, the captains for the Experts. There's a look at them and their lineup, Bree, and J.K. Anderson back for another run here. He's had a heck of a run, as you've talked about, and what they've done here now in almost 3 full seasons here in the series, PR7s.
I mean, you look at this Experts roster, and it is so stacked from top to bottom. They're so physical. They've got huge carriers in Tago, Moala, Tuamoeloa, and then you've got the playmakers of Hughes and Fualau, who just really are so clean and crisp in their play. But then with the Rhinos Loggerheads, I mean, Bronco DePria just having someone like that, the most capped South African in history. I mean, look, the Experts, I think, in the last stop, they were pretty sloppy in their play, kind of uncharacteristic for them. And so you know that they are trying to clean it up, and the Rhinos Loggerheads just trying to put that last piece together, something that has eluded them for quite some time.
Both these sides, obviously additions, some subtractions, but really the core, for the most part, the same. And you mentioned Bronco Dupree, 431 caps. The most capped South African player of all time. SoCal Rhinos, Loggerheads kick it away. Rocky Mountain Experts have it. There's some 2 men's semis underway. Steeltoes, Texas team will play next. Good ball there. Here come the Experts inside of the 22. Trying to outrun them. Taken down about 3 meters shy. Offload over there. That go into touch. Very close.
And it looked like that offload just went off the back of a Rhinos Loggerhead player. And so the ball will stay with the Experts.
Yeah. Madison Hughes has been known to find his way into a broadcast booth or two. We both worked with him over the last couple of years. Standing talent, captain of the Olympic team for the U.S. Low ball there. Loggerheads get a foot on it. They send it into touch. It'll stay with the Experts.
Yeah, Teba is someone who has just applied so much pressure. That's just one example here. We'll get back to him in a moment. But this Tuamoeloa and Moala connection, Moala streaking down the sidelines, he's played for Old Glory DC before, trying to prove something here, and so, you know, a place that he holds near and dear to his heart. Not enough though. But look, it's gonna be a line out on the other side and see what the Experts can do.
Madison Hughes will send it in. Take it up, get it, no problem. Well executed. Hughes plays it back. Some space. Now they go outside. 1v1, get some help over there. Ball came out of the back. Experts still have it. Hard charging run there as Dupre took that heavy shot. Hughes will keep it. Gets it off. Good short ball there, played into the hands of Teron Meek. Good tackle turned in there from Tucker Tricky. He's been scoring some tries, 3 in 4 matches. Offload and close. Another offload. Bounding ball picked up. Loggerheads going to boot it away. Oh, what a stand from them, and what a great kick. They get it over the halfway line. And it stays in the field of play. Or not. Oh, that was so close.
Well done, Jay Hare.
Wow.
Getting Tago out, but let's just look at this sequence here. You got Fulauer looking for the offload, gets it off, and then V just looking for another ball out, but the Rhinos X Loggerheads getting it out of their own half. Ball just goes dribbling slowly to the sideline. Hare able to chase Tago down and get that ball back, but looks like it's an error, although Rhinos X Loggerheads maintain possession.
They do. They've got it right near the halfway line. Advantage over, a little kick through, going to try to give it a chase. Madison Hughes gets back. Diving play to get it back to a teammate. Now they got some space. Little dummy. Now they're going to kick it ahead. Let their teammate run after it. It's P2B. P2B. He's going to kick it ahead to himself. He's going to get it and finish it off. And the Experts draw first blood. It's 5-0 with a kick coming up.
And that is just pretty decision making there. Of course, it was P2V who darted it down, but let's just look at Naima Fulauer. Knows that if he just passes it out normally to V, that they'll likely get tackled because there's a Rhino X Loggerhead defender there. So instead sees no one behind the defense, just dinks a little kick through because you know that V has the speed, has the advantage there to chase down that ball and get those 5 points for the Experts.
V needs a little drink there. He just took, that was a 60-meter play with a kick making it a 7-0 count inside of 3 minutes to play here in the first half. Experts having the number of this Rhinos X Loggerhead side. Last 2 years, they've been knocked out by the Rocky Mountain Experts. Battle for it here up in the air, came right into the waiting hands of Madison Hughes. Good smart play there from Hughes. Got it back to a support runner there behind him. To the back now, and Hughes calls for it and gets it. Hughes a stiff arm, trying to go back there behind the back with a pass with the right hand. Now the Loggerheads, they're gonna look to counter. Little dummy, then the pass comes, trying to outrun the tackler there. It was Jack Rampton. Good piece of real estate picked up from Rampton. Inside ball handled at the 22 there by Tucker Tricky. Now back. Here's the South African legend, Bronco Dupria. Tricky spins it right into the middle of the park now. Good ball. Loggerheads trying to find a channel. They break through. They've got it. They found it. Jay Hare, the 28-year-old native of England, taking that one in, putting the foot down and in, and we're a kick away from a tie match.
Man, what a game-breaking moment that was. Just, oh, Hare backed himself. Just seeing a little bit of a disorganized defense, and there was actually a player back from the Rhinos X Loggerheads who was jogging back maybe from an injury, so Hare not having a lot of options, spotting a tiny gap and just backing himself all the way to dot it down.
You want to come back. This guy earlier this season, Jay Hare, fractured his spine, and he is back playing this sport. That is absolutely remarkable and pretty amazing. A 33-meter run. You and I have worked a lot together the last 3 years, and I say it often. I'm surprised in this sport there are not more injuries. It's amazing, and it's remarkable to see him back on the pitch doing what he loves to do.
Absolutely, and it just makes this game so entertaining.
Yep.
Looks like there's a loose ball on the field there. Hopefully they get that out of the way, but Experts take this one into contact.
A little more than 40 seconds remaining here in this half. 7-7 match. That's going to come back. That's a knock on. Mishandling of the ball.
Definitely one Meek would have wanted to have back. And now we've got just under 30 seconds left. Rhinos X Loggerheads want to get some more points on the board here. We'll see what kind of starter move they employ here with their back line.
Let's go.
Tries for the first for the experts, P to V, and then Jay Hare just a few moments ago for the Rhinos X Loggerheads. 4 turnovers by the experts so far. Quick tap here on the restart. Here we go. Dupria. Rampton charging ahead. They wrestle him down about 10 meters out. Leota played it back. Far side of the pitch now. Outside, cutting in. There's the points. And they're going to dot it right there. So a 12-7 match here. Rhinos X Loggerheads are going to have the lead here at the halftime break. And they get that all-important tie-breaking try there. They take it in. Here's a look, Bree.
Oh, and that's so pretty, and it's just the work that you do off the ball here. Dupria just coming around in support, and maybe gets tripped up, but just does enough to distract the experts' defense to open up that space for them.
Kick is good. So 14-7 Rhinos X Loggerheads. Tucker Tricky. Well, he's been just that. His 4th try now in 5 matches. So he's been playing really well, and a big one late for them here to give themselves a 7-point halftime lead.
And we'll see what both coaches have to say after, Nick speaks with them during this half. But for me right now, just the difference is the errors that the experts are committing here, right? Just the errant handling, and just that's it.
All right, let's listen in here to the huddle here.
One more. 3, 2, 1, and slow exhale. Come on, guys. We said the little things, right? Yeah. It's the little things that's cost us. Kicking ball away, not looking after the 0, it's cost us. Every time it's energy. We now have to try and get the line speed up a little bit more. Please, button up, get the line speed up, because that's where we break the tackles and we have to work so much better. Can you guys give me 1 more minute before I make sense? One more minute. I want 1 more minute. Get the ball wide, let them work. Make them tired. And we can speed that breakdown up. Please speed it up, because they've broken. Speed it up, send it wide, punish 1 more, and I make this up. Nice, let's go. This is yours. Let's go, boys.
That's access right there. Part of the beauty of this sport, Bree. You get access, you get all kinds of great stuff like that. What'd you take away from Frankie Horn there?
I mean, head coach Frankie Horn, he played for the South African Sevens team until about 2016. He knows exactly what he's talking about. It's just a simple message. It's just get the line speed up and just give me that extra work for this next minute before I make subs. And again, he's saying if we can exploit the width, we can continue putting pressure on the experts to make them make more errors. That's really it for them.
Turnover story. The experts have turned it over 4 times, just 1 for Rhinos X Loggerheads here so far. Ben Holden, Bree Kim, Nick Gismondi down on the pitch. Dean Walker's our producer. All of our outstanding crew here. First of 2 men's semifinals. Women's final is set. Locals and Loonies. We'll see the Texas team and the Steeltoes in our second men's semifinal. Experts on the run here. Loggerheads, Tricky's down there. Getting back to that ball, though, was P to V. Now the experts trying to work this north up the pitch. Deep in their own territory now. Hare out there defending. Tied the match in that first half for Rhinos X Loggerheads with a try. Here come the experts now. Outside of their own 22. Jack Rampton with a tackle. Madison Hughes to it at the base there. Good move there, trying to get free, but Tricky's got a hold of him with 1 hand. And a good job to slow him. Heavy shot delivered there. Matai Leota delivering that shot for the Loggerheads and unable to get through again. That is Jock Odendahl, the South African, couldn't get away. And reaching to the pocket, we got a yellow card coming. And it's going to be on, I believe, on Tricky of Rhinos X Loggerheads.
Scrum.
Oh, and just a huge break there for the experts. Again, just momentum changing just a little bit back and forth, but now this one-man advantage as we take a replay here. And that's just, I mean, that's just discipline.
It is.
Right? There's no need to go in there with the hand and just knock it out like that when the call has already been made. That's an error that you're seeing from the Rhinos x Loggerheads.
Quick work there from Madison Hughes. Odendahl, good footwork there. They got some speed. Here comes a break. Can he get home? No. Good job coming back by the Loggerheads there. But it was dropped. Knock on is the call.
Time's up.
So we're starting to see some of those subs. Patrick Madden, the captain, coming in for the Loggerheads. Here's a look back for E.
And it's Odendahl who starts creating space, gets that ball off to Misangalu, and I really think that Misangalu should have gotten that pass off. He had two more teammates on the outside there, had already committed those two Rhinos x Loggerheads players. And just an error again. Looked like the experts could have been set free there. But now to avenge that mistake, he's got to work and try and turn over this ball.
Sure does.
One more.
That's the hope for them.
Blue sub.
So Hare coming out of the match for Rhinos x Loggerheads. He wears 11, now out.
Who's Mark? Crouch!
Loggerheads with the scrum here. Bronco Dupria putting it in.
Set!
Again, just remember they only have two men in their back line. They're down one.
Yep. Tricky in the sin bin. They got a piece, I believe Madison Hughes did to slow that down a bit. Saves them some meters there. Experts. Daryl Williams, the San Francisco native. The missile, let's see what he can do here. How about the stiff arm there? He's delivering the shot. Odendahl, who's been really good here in this second half. He's had some good carries, good runs. Hughes gets rid of the ball. Got it back. Penalty call here going the way of the Loggerheads, I believe.
And the experts, I think, expecting a call their way as they just take a moment.
There's Tricky, still in the sin bin.
You need to take it.
Keeping an eye on that clock, so he's hoping he can get back in and help his side out here. They're on top by 7 here with just over 4 to play in the match.
Bring in. All right. Time's
Reed
up.
Santos checking into the match. Tricky's time in the bin is over, so Santos in for Tucker Tricky.
Looks like we've got Pulau coming out. He has been so instrumental for them.
No, I was trying to get out of here.
Wonder if he'll get back on a little bit later, but just he's such a good playmaker. Him and Madison Hughes work in tandem so well together.
Yeah.
And just also note the experts don't have Corey Jones, who has been a big player in this series, but not here this weekend.
They went short to the Loggerheads on that lineout. They've got possession here, leading by 7. 2 to the ball there for the experts. Bit of room here over the top. Good ball, and it's mishandled out there by the Loggerheads. They look like they had something brewing there, but it's denied because of the mishandle.
Time's off.
Yeah, just unfortunate there.
Blue 6 is off.
It was exactly the strategy. You could hear the coaches screaming from the sideline, get it to him.
Yep.
Blue 1, blue 1.
And just maybe a little bit too much blue traffic for him as he was unable to field that cleanly.
Here's the mark.
Teron Meek is checked in for the experts. They're in the blue and white kits.
Okay.
Naima Fualoau is checked in 24 for the experts as well.
Here, let's go, let's go.
Just a quick 30-second break and then back onto the pitch.
Yep. Odendahl coming out for the experts. Mentioned how he asserted himself. Some good carries, some good meters gained, but they call on others. Under 3 to go here. The experts dominated the series with the Loggerheads, and now 3 years of PR7s. Loggerheads trying to get a win to get themselves into the final.
So a free kick to the Rhinos x Loggerheads. Referee calling no hook on the experts when that ball gets put into the tunnel. The hooker, the middle person in that 3-person scrum, has to hook the ball back with their foot.
Let's go. Jack, use it.
And referee saying there was no hook, so ball will return to the hands of Dupria.
Quick tap, he's got it. Madden kick through. Experts gonna get to this ball first, just outside of their 22. Williams. Looking for a little help there was the ball carrier. None comes. Williams comes into the back there. Williams gets it out of there. Some room here up the near side. The big man, Teron Meek. Good tackle there by Bronco Dupria. Madison Hughes helping clean out a little bit there in the ruck. Work the far side of the pitch now. Good hands, but a good tackle out there made in space by Derek Adams for Rhinos x Loggerheads. Made a name in this series, scoring tries, and a big tackle there. Can they stop him here? The experts dragged down there by Madden.
Over here, back here.
Offside called on the Loggerheads.
Over here.
80 seconds remaining here in the match.
Look right here, the experts know that they have the possession. That was a long passage of play. They had to chase down a kick deep into their territory. So they're just gonna take a moment, catch their breath.
Yep.
It's only one possession. There's still plenty of time with about 65 seconds on the clock. But they must keep the ball in hand. They have to retain possession. Right now, the only thing that's letting them down are just the errant handling errors.
Yep.
So can they get the ball? Can they crash up with quick support?
He's good.
Another one possession game. Madison Hughes, the offload to the back. Inside of the 5, another one to the outside, and it's down. And the experts need the conversion to get this thing level. They're down by 2, and they'll call on Madison Hughes for that conversion attempt, which is going to be a tough one from the near touchline.
And Tuamoeloa able to get that ball out to Tago. And look, it's a clutch kick, but who else would you want but Madison Hughes for this 2 points?
Here he goes, big kick for Hughes, and he does it. He gets it through. Captain America sends it through. He did that last year, remember, Bree, in a match here. And here's a look back, the restart from Madison, and what ensued from there.
Yeah, I mean, he was just able to keep his feet there, and then Tuamoeloa just pinning that defender through some contact, gets it off to Logan Tago, but Madison Hughes, I mean, captaining this squad and getting them going, and now they got to make no error on this kick, apply some pressure here. It does just go 10. It looks like they will play it because the Rhinos x Loggerheads got a hand, and the experts will get this possession.
Teron Meek came in and picked it up. Experts here trying to come back and win this thing as Hughes colliding there with Teba. Ball still on the right side of the pitch for the experts, but a penalty being called here on the experts.
Looked like there was a knock there of some sort, but referee doesn't see it. And so possession will stay with the Rhinos x Loggerheads. Smart move to just boot it down the field, get some more territory, set up for a planned move off of your line out. There is no time left. And so all you have to do is just stay composed. But look, let's just take a look here.
What do you think?
And it looked like it got by. I don't know, that's tough there, but we play on.
Rhinos x Loggerheads with it. 10 meters over the halfway line. Good play, good break. They're going to take this one in, and they are going to get the job done. Taken home. Iowani Teba was the player of the event in San Jose, and he gets it done. The Fijian Sevens player takes it home, and they get it done. Rhinos x Loggerheads will play in the men's championship match.
And talk about the storyline here. I mean, finally able to come full circle, avenge the losses that they've had versus the experts, and pull off the try in no time to see them through finally to the final and knock off the experts.
40-meter run. Emotions flowing there through his body after taking that home for the winning try here to make it a 19-14 score. The kick caps it off. 21-14, Bree, the final count.
And just here, Teba just going all the way himself, gets that pass on the wing, able to shrug off that experts defender, and then just has the gas to take it all the way home. The experts are gutted. But when you have someone like Teba on your team to break through in those crucial moments, that's what's gonna get you to the championship final of this 2023 PR7 season.
Bronco Dupria there heading off, new member. We talked about him and all his success in this sport. 431 caps, most ever from the great rugby country of South Africa. He and his team moving on. The experts will play the loser of the final match here in the beginning portion of our broadcast window here. Let's go down to Nick Gismondi, who's got a special guest with him. Nick.
Holtz, thanks much. Bronco, this is a huge win for you guys. You've struggled against this team in the finals for the last 3 years. You finally find it here in this one. What was the difference today that wasn't maybe there in years past?
Yeah, I mean, Experts is no easy team to play, and we had to do our homework against them. But at the end, it was still a struggle. We just made too many mistakes in the field. And at the moment we hang on to our ball, we could put points on the board.
Looking ahead to the final, do you change anything about the way you played in this game moving into that final, or is that business as usual?
Yeah, definitely. I think we just need to find ourselves. I think we were overeager in the first 4 or 5 minutes, and just when we regroup, we stick to our guns, and we can be dangerous.
Bronco, thanks so much. Congratulations. We'll see you tonight.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, Bronco Dupree, a historic win for the Rhinos X Loggerheads, guys.
Yeah, it sure was, Nick. 2021, lost in the final in Memphis, lost in the 2022 event as well. They had beaten the experts one time, but not when it really mattered. But this, it mattered big time, because they're going to play for the championship here on the men's side here in PR7s. On the right side of your screen there, All Black Sevens player Rhodes Featherstone leading his side out. He's their captain, along with Jerome Nale. Alex Wormer, the captain of the Pittsburgh Steeltoes. The perfect colors appear from Pittsburgh as they come out in the black and the gold. And there's Devin Short, USA Eagle. Featherstone, he's really the big figure literally on this side, isn't he, Bree?
Oh, I mean, just massive to have a guy like him come to the U.S. and play in this season. The team, they've been here since the start of PR7s, have had some names change here and there from year to year as they face off against the new Pittsburgh Steeltoes. John Lefebvre in the 15, plays for Old Glory DC, yeah. Playing in front of his home crowd. He's excited for that one. But a big storyline for the Steeltoes. No Ben Pinkelman, who has returned to playing rugby, but unfortunately sustained an injury after Pittsburgh. Huge performance there. So, as they call in, Lance Williams, another big name in MLR, plays for the Utah Warriors. So physical. Can he step up in Pinkelman's place and bring that same level of physicality to victory?
The Texas team in the fitting colors, just like the Steeltoes from the great state of Texas, kicking away. Featherstone with that reach, gets it up, the back tap to his teammates. Texas won the first stop. They won it down at Q2 in Austin, where everything started back in June here in PR7s. Chris Aurich had a hat trick that day. Good tackle made there by Ethan Hager. 2 tries last week. Hager from the hometown of Wayne Gretzky, Brantford, Ontario. Here's Williams, plays it off. Outside ball, trying to play it back there for David Hightower. 3 tries and 4 matches for him. Right at the halfway line. Base of the ruck, played back out of there by the captain, Alex Wormer. Texas defensively, good job getting to it. Speed at the line, not much room to operate there.
Oh, and the team just doing a good job of holding him up, and Steeltoes not able to get down. LaFave finally goes in, creates that maul.
Side entry. Side entry.
Penalty for the side entry, you can't do it. Featherstone, good step back. Look at him, throws another one out of the way. And then Hightower wrestled him down. Couple of big, strong young lads kick through here. No help though on that kick.
Yeah, and it will be an advantage. Looks like the Steeltoes shoved team player out of the way. So the team will retain this ball. Again, just a good heads-up play to just do a little cheeky kick, see how they respond. And Craig Hunt just able to pull off that penalty, and it looks like they're going to go for a scrum here.
I mean, look at what the Steeltoes side has done, Bree. I mean, that's pretty impressive, putting this franchise together for the first season, and they're blowing the competition away in terms of points.
5.
Impressive stuff. Scrum here, as Bree mentioned, for the Texas team.
Looks like an awkward engage there, so it'll just be a reset.
Featherstone, All Black 7-star from New Zealand. Big in every sense. Referee going to bring him back. A quick tap from there. Nale takes a look left, goes right. He's got 2 tries so far in the 2023 PR7 series. Inside of the 5, about 3 meters out. They get to it. They'll use a short side, diving. And a beautiful finish there, getting it done over there as Texas gets the try there from Jerome Nale.
Hi, do you have clear grounding? Clear grounding, so player did not blink.
They are talking it over though.
You have a clear grounding, so I can award a try. Thank you.
Quick conversation, and it counts 5-0 Texas.
Yeah, the right call there as we take a look. Here's the rock. The tackle happens, decides to go back to the weak side, and Nale just diving over. Body doesn't go out of bounds or doesn't hit the ground out of bounds, so he will get those first 5 points.
Third try of the series, long, tough kick, and that one is banged right down Pennsylvania Avenue. That is not an easy kick.
Not an easy kick, but we know that these kickers have been practicing for those sideline kicks. As we get an overhead look, again, just going on the outside. Nale knowing that he had those extra inches. I mean, look at that freeze frame right there.
Pretty.
Body's still in the air, clearly gets the ball touched down on the ground. That's some pretty stuff.
Great camera work by our camera crew and our tape room as well.
Hey, gentlemen, I have off of black.
So there's the verdict. Texas will have the possession here. Inside of 3 minutes to go. Remember, these matches go in a hurry. 7-minute halves. So we're going to scrum down from here. There's Lance Williams there, 24. You mentioned, Bree, with Ben Pinkelman coming to the series this year. The concussion, unable to go. Chance to visit with Lance a little bit yesterday.
Stable.
I think I surprised him. I said, did you play for June Jones, or who was your coach at Hawaii? He said Norm Chai was an outstanding college football player in his home state of Hawaii. Texas coming at him pretty good here so far. Looking to add to a 7-0 lead. Featherstone runs right over the defender. Took 2 to wrestle him down. LaFave got the worst of that collision. Featherstone delivering the blow there. Play to the outside. Texas on the move. Inside ball, and a good one. Couple meters away.
I see.
And And there it is, put down. I don't think anybody was sure on that play, but they get the try as Lutz involved there.
Yeah, I think Lutz maybe thought that referee Aguiar was going to call something, and then Aguiar's just waiting, just saying, please dot it down. But just really well worked from the Texas team there, side to side.
Yep.
As we see here, just the ball back inside to get that little gap and just keeping his feet really well. Knows he's not quite there, but all wrapped up. Johnstone not too far away. And finally, that ball gets dotted down for the team.
So a couple of subs coming in. We'll start on the Steeltoes side. Misha Shorin, native of Kazakhstan, lives in Pittsburgh. 16 for the Steeltoes, and Devin Short, running 18 for Texas, added for this round. Played for the Headliners last year. Played most recently in playing for NOLA Gold in Major League Rugby. USA player in his time. So the Steeltoes being stymied here thus far, down a dozen, 12-0 here with 45 to go in the half, but they can all change in a hurry right here. Good run, Short on the tackle for Texas. Steeltoes to it. Featherstone there, just missed on that diving attempt. Here's Lance Williams, first touch for him. Offensively, Williams gets in there, helping in the ruck there. Hager playing it back to Wormer. Some support there on that far side, trying to break through instead on his own there was Misha Shorin. Quick tap on the restart, penalty was called there on Texas. Here comes Pittsburgh. Up over the top, Lance Williams. Williams cuts back in, and Williams gets it down. In the dying seconds of the half, Lance Williams added this week. Big time play. 5 on the board for the Steeltoes, Bree.
And it's all about setting the tone for your team. Lance Williams comes in this week and does exactly that.
15 seconds.
Just so physical, but much better all around from the Steeltoes. Really started out from a really nice shifty run from John Lefebvre from behind midfield. And just able to keep that continuity going.
Hager's kick good. So 12-7 as we'll look back at the try here as we reach halftime, Bree.
And again, just getting that ball back out, working it from the other sideline. Williams knows he has his teammate on the wing, but jukes back inside and just bulldozes over the try line.
That's how you make an impact, right? He comes in, no Ben Pinkelman. Several years with the Utah Warriors, involved in the USA Eagles program. Is Williams still in their sights? Future opportunities. Let's take a listen in here to Troy, I beg your pardon, to Jason Kelly, Steeltoes coach.
You're inside man, you have a choice of attacking the breakdown or taking pillar. Do we understand? Yeah. Depending on speed of ball, right? Kickoffs, we take 2 hands, right? But we build the fucking face count on offense and we fucking attack the ball. Let's run onto it. Hey, everything is up to you. Everything is up to you.
Let's go, boys. Together, fellas. We back our fitness, everything, gas.
So I talk about the access, and sometimes you hear words you shouldn't hear, so apologies for that, but nevertheless, great access inside of that huddle. What do you take anything away from it?
Yeah, well, the big message that I heard up front was about the defense. I think maybe Jason Kelly wasn't pleased with the speed of the defensive breakdown. So saying, when you make that tackle, you either get in and counter ruck it, really apply that pressure physically, or you're immediately out, setting that pillar or that person right next to the ruck to be that defender. Feeling like perhaps the Steeltoes the team just taking advantage too much off of that attacking breakdown.
All right, let's check in with Nick pitch side. Nick.
Pretty good stuff there, because I just talked to coach as well, and he elaborated a little further on that. His game plan coming in was to really stick to their systems, and he felt like they got away from that a little bit. So the second half for him is about maintaining those systems, and he'd like to see his side be a little bit more aggressive as well. He was hoping for a big push at the start, didn't get it. He wants it here to start the second half.
All right, thank you, Nick. So underway here in the second. Featherstone has it. Rhodes, Featherstone. Quick tap on the restart from Devin Short. Austin, they won in Austin in the first stop. Pittsburgh, they won on the men's side in Pittsburgh. These two teams now meeting with a chance to move on to play the SoCal Rhinos x Loggerheads in the championship here later tonight. You'll be able to see the second half of our day here on FS1 here in the US beginning at 6:30 Eastern time.
And that ball just doesn't quite go the way of the team. Just Hunt trying to get that ball off, a little bit off with Nale.
Set.
So Lefebvre will put this in. Look to make the most here.
Takes a little trot with it, gives it off to Hager, who's been really good for the Steeltoes. Good ball. Gonna break free there, unable to, the ball carrier there. It was Shorin. Down to the back, Wormer. Come the Steeltoes with some momentum. Featherstone couldn't make the tackle, and they get by Featherstone, but he drags him down. The offload attempt goes way back out near the 22 where Lance Williams is at. What a play from Featherstone. Dummy, couple dummies inside, taken in. Campbell Johnstone, 8 carries in Pittsburgh, 1 here today, and it's a try, and we're tied at 12.
Oh man, take a bow. Johnstone with that try, another local player out of Woodbine, Maryland, played at Mount St. Mary's, played for Beltway Elite before moving to Denver, and that kick sails through.
The conversion is good, and the Steeltoes, Bree Kim, lead it by 2. Here's a look back.
Oh, I mean, look, first of all, at this run by Smith, but Featherstone chases it down, and Smith, with the presence of mind to just get that ball, still keep the ball safe on the field, and the Steeltoes able to connect and just keep it going, and Johnstone doing the hard work at the end to get that try.
14 straight points from the Pittsburgh Steeltoes, and Williams harkening back to his days as a linebacker for Norm Chow at the University of Hawaii there. Left as the all-time leading tackler in Hawaii history. Knock-on is called here. So a 2-point lead here for the Steeltoes, 14-12 with 4:15 to play in the match.
Oh, and you just see with that error right there, the team just maybe getting a little bit ahead of themselves, looking at where he was going to pass before he caught the ball. And that's just the pressure that's building here. I mean, there's still plenty of time, but the Steeltoes riding this wave here.
4 tries have been scored by 4 different men here in this match. Under 4 to play in it. Right out of it, John Lefebvre. Lefebvre turns on the Jets. Lefebvre gets it down. Just like that. Lefebvre takes one in, and his side on top. 19-12 with a kick coming.
John Lefebvre, so sleek with his running, so sly, and just knows that he's got that speed and still has that option outside on the wing, but doesn't need it. That was a pretty run.
Big kick here from Ethan Hager, and not his best effort, but it's a 19-12 lead, so a 7-point match, so still a 1-try, converted try match at this point, Bree.
And Lefebvre just takes it off the scrum, goes completely his way, and knows he can shake off that player. He's an up-and-coming star for the U.S., and it's great to see him get that reap the reward.
Top by orange, scrum to black.
So a knock-on call there on Texas.
Time off.
Johnstone slow to get up. Rhodes, or Featherstone, I beg your pardon. Rhodes, Featherstone slow to get up. Great group of docs and trainers PR7s puts together. Featherstone needing some attention, at least a look at that right ankle. This guy's an absolute gamer. That's part of what if you were with us at 3:30, we talked about the international players, players like Featherstone, players like Stacey Waka, and there's many others, Ruby Tui, who's not playing here and her team didn't make it. so many have come over this year. They've seen what's going on here in the States, and it's great for the sport.
So good for the sport, coupled with up-and-coming players like Lefebvre.
Yep.
Set. Hold.
They were down by 12-0. Now they have 19 unanswered.
Lefebvre trying to get it to the back.
Definitely use that in the interview. No. How do you come back from being 12-0?
Just over 2 minutes remaining in the match. The Steeltoes up by 7. We're going to scrum here once again.
Again, no need to rush this here. Just make sure you get set. As Hager looks back, communicates with Raymond to figure out what move they're running here.
Set.
Lefebvre gets it. There's the aforementioned Hager. He spins it, and unable to handle that was Aki Raymond. You won't see him do that many times, and an unopportune time for him to do it.
And we see Tenorio come on. It looks like Featherstone just not able to finish out the match.
Right.
It's unfortunate for the team, and we see another sub 2. That's Lance Williams back on,
right.
And Raymond will come off.
He knows he's got to make that play, no question. It's a scrum coming up for Texas here. Another one-possession match.
Cut.
Clock moving, 85 seconds to play in the match.
Set.
Can Texas get one and get a conversion? Good ball by Nale. Oh, what a hard charging hit that was. Texas still with it inside of the 22. They go. The carry from Tion Lutz, who scored a try here in this second half. Outside, they got support. Gonna use it, but a bad ball, and unable to save it over there was Daquan Patton. Ouch.
Oh, just unfortunate, but let's take a look back at Evan Conlon just barreling through, shakes off the steel toe.
Okay, time's back on.
We get one more look, boom.
Here comes the boom. So a line out here for the Steeltoes, under 40 seconds to go. Texas in need of possession, they tip it. But the Steeltoes get it. And they're gonna maintain possession here. Penalty call against Texas.
Come down to leg, 15 seconds, please. Time's accurate. I need this in 5 seconds. That's 5.
Here we go.
Steeltoes know they just have to have a clean scrum, buy a few more seconds of time, and then they should see themselves to the final, but this has to be perfect.
It does. Lefebvre puts it in. Lefebvre gets it. Hager's there. A little touch into touch with a boot, and that's the match. The Steeltoes, in their first season in PR7s, have advanced to the men's final. Well, they'll take on the SoCal Rhinos ex Loggerheads in the final later tonight. Texas team will take on the Rocky Mountain Experts in the third place match.
And we see some good steel toe support there in the stands. Get a look at good Campbell Johnstone. Again, just what a great storyline. Pittsburgh Steeltoes, new franchise, lose their captain last week due to injury, and still just coming barreling through to get to the much alluded championship final.
It was a 12-0 lead for the Texas team, 19 straight points for the Steeltoes as they get the victory by 7, 19-12 here to set us up. They'll take on the SoCal Rhinos ex Loggerheads in the final later tonight. We're going to be closing out our broadcast here momentarily. Some interviews coming up at 6:30 Eastern. Join us on FS1 here in the US. Globally, if you're watching on YouTube, you can join us on Facebook and watch us there as Featherstone will head into the room and get ready for the next match. Down to Nick.
Okay, thank you very much. John, you get the game-winning try there. Take me through it. What was going through your head? Talk me through that try.
Just saw them stacked, one in behind and 1 weak, so figured, 9 pick, I'd get a lot of room, at least have a 2-on-1 on the outside, but just decided to go, and we got the try.
What do you need to do in the championship to come away with the win here in D.C.?
Same stuff we've just been doing. I think we're a team that just grinds it out. We got good defense. I think we have the best defense in the league, so just going to keep working.
John, thanks much.
Yeah.
John LaFave and company moving on. They'll take on those Loggerheads in the men's final. We'll have the third place matches 6:30 Eastern time, followed by the championship matches, Bree. So first portion of the day complete here. Let's set the table for you here a little bit what's coming up. There you see the finals from earlier. Experts losing in both the men's and women's matches, 21-14 for whatever that's worth. Locals get the win by 3 over the headliners. They were 0-2 against them. They get that done. They're on to the final. So the championship, Locals and Loonies at 7:36. First match, and we see over on Fox or on Facebook, 6:36, and the rest of the night. Just what we thought, right? Exactly the way we thought, right?
Yeah, exactly how we drew it up. And just remember, something to note about this season.
Yep.
The Eastern Conference teams have played against each other all season. The Western Conference teams the same. And so these matchups are brand new this season. These teams haven't played against each other at all this year. And so it's really up to the hard work and the due diligence of the coaches to really scout out and see what those teams have been doing to best prepare their team for the last matches of tonight.
Can't wait. We're going to take a little bit of a break. We'll see you at 6:30 Eastern time on Fox Sports 1. More intense, electrifying, hard-hitting, always entertaining PR7s Rugby coming your way at 6:30. For Bree Kim, Nick Gismondi, Dean Walker, our producer, all of our hard-working crew. Couldn't do it without him. Ben Holden saying thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the broadcast. It's our pleasure to bring it to you. We'll see you at 6:30 Eastern on Fox Sports 1 for much more PR7s Rugby.